Hey everybody, welcome back again. And today we're taking a look at another new figure. This one is another Hasbro figure. It's the Age of the Primes Transformers Studio Series Optimus Prime from the Transformers Devastation video game. So I'm going to be completely honest, I had never even heard of this game until I saw this figure announced a while back. But evidently this is the Optimus Prime that is the incarnation in that particular game. So looking at the packaging, it's your typical Studio Series packaging with the blue Studio Series stripe, a little bit of box art on the front that's pretty nice, and the back has some product shots. Looks like we've got Optimus Prime with his Energon axe and maybe a little mini matrix there, but the side of the box is just got your typical artwork on it. So let's go ahead and get into this guy. And if you can't tell, this is a deluxe series figure, so it's a little bit smaller than what we would expect from a Voyager class or a Leader class. And really kind of surprising that we have an Optimus Prime in the deluxe class price point. So we've got the typical packaging. We've got his instructions, some cautionary text, and looks like we've got some accessories wrapped up in tissue paper. So let's go ahead and get the figure out. He is attached with the standard rubber bands that we've come to expect for these figures. And in the tissue wrapping, it feels like we've got a couple of accessories. So yes, we've got his Energon axe and his smokestacks. So let's get some of this stuff out of the way before we take a look at him. So the Energon axe is painted. It's not translucent. I kind of expected that looking at the pack. Well, I guess the packaging, it looks like an opaque color there as well. Would have preferred a kind of a translucent axe there, but it's got some effects that are molded into it that make it look like a swinging axe. And then we've got his smokestacks that go on either side. Looking at them, it's kind of difficult to tell. There is just a little bit of detail in there, a little bit of texture. But there's no divots for the cooling radiators that are outside of smokestacks or anything like that. So pretty plain pieces here. And these look like they are going to peg into his arm. So looking at the figure itself, as you can tell, it's a pretty small figure. He looks to be about, I don't know, 5 or so inches tall. We don't have any light piping or anything like that, but let's take a look at articulation. So his head does go all the way around. Arms go all the way around on both sides. At the elbow, we've got a standard bend at the elbow. We do have bicep rotation. We have a little bit of waist swivel, but it's kind of blocked by the wheel here, the wheels that are part of the transformation. So you only get just a little bit before it starts to run into that and maybe stress the plastic a little bit. There's no ab crunch or anything like that, of course expected on these figures. We do have a little bit of detail when you open up his windshield. There's a gray molded plastic matrix. It looks like that does come out. And we do have bend here at the waist, get 90 degrees. Same with the knees. This guy swings out. And we do have some ankle tilt, kind of standard with all of these figures now. And we do have some rotation actually at the knee. So it's not at the thigh, but it's at the knee here. So looking at the figure, I mean, it's a pretty nice figure. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what Hasbro is thinking here with some of these figures. For this price point, I'm just going to be totally honest. This figure is not at all worth it. As an adult collector, it's not worth it to me. And as a parent, if I was trying to get a child into collecting Transformers, I probably would not send them to this figure to begin with. Hasbro really needs to figure out where they want to be. It's a very toonish kind of figure, but it's a price point, I think, that is more than what would be a reasonable price point for a child's toy. This thing really looks like a child's toy, but the price point, I think, is just way too high for it. The articulation is nice, and of course it is Optimus Prime. You know, who doesn't love Optimus Prime? But just looking, you know, let's compare this figure with the Kingdom Core class version of Optimus Prime, and he's, you know, not quite twice as tall, but, you know, this really isn't that much better than a Core class figure, in my opinion, at least. And honestly, I don't think that Optimus Prime really, for these mainline figures, belongs in the deluxe class. I think if it were, you know, not a Studio Series class, I think that would be fine. But for a Studio Series type figure, it doesn't seem right to me. But overall, you know, the figure is okay. I would not go and spend $25 on it again. But overall, you know, if I had to give this guy a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it like I don't know, maybe a 5 or a 6. It's not very heavy. The plastic is very cheap looking. The coloring doesn't match. And this just kind of, it really tells me how much that I've been spoiled by some of these third-party figures that are coming out. Obviously, you can't compare a mainline figure with a masterpiece type figure, but this really enlightens me as to, you know, what I'm not missing with collecting these mainline figures, you know, being a completionist with those. So, again, you know, if you really love Optimus Prime, if you got to have the figure, I would say get it. But if you're on the fence about it, I would say it's just simply not worth the price for this figure. But that's all I have to say about this. We'll get some other shots of him in a little short, and I'll put that up and show him in his alt mode. And if you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe to my channel if you want me to do more of this type content. Thank you very much.